Welcome to episode 1 of Linnovate's podcast. Today, we are joined by Elroi Marom, the CEO of Linnovate. Welcome.
Thank you. So my name is Elroi Marom. I'm the CEO of Linnovate since 2012. I have a strong technological background. I'm a developer by myself, and I also experienced in software development, in DevOps, cloud. I also had the opportunity to be the customer and the developer, so I know both sides, which I think it was a great contribution to my work at Linnovate.
Wow, so you're really coming from a well-rounded background and someone who understands what someone's looking for when they're looking for software, having had the experience. So what is Linnovate? Does it stand for something?
Well, the name Linnovate started as a fusion of Linux and innovation. I think it's something that it's in our vein, in our DNA, a combination of open source and innovation, how to create innovation through open source. That's where we started, how we started. Linnovate, what it does, it transforms organizations to be more productive and integrated through open source. In simple words, how to convert the enterprise to be more modernized, to have the tools to survive or fight in this world, in this digital world. We have today in Linnovate 3 units. The first one is software that focus on self-service enterprise web solutions, mainly when it involves personalization, analysis and visualization. The second one is cloud. We focus in Kubernetes cloud. We offer how to deploy, shift, and maintain microservices environment. And the third unit is a consultation where we consult organizations with their transformation. It can be software, DevOps, cloud, and modernization challenges.
It sounds like Linnovate has all the angles down and ability to support really any organization to make that digital transformation.
It's true. Digital transformation. This is this is the term for what we have been experienced in the last 10 years. I think we chose the open source because we are geeks. We like this environment, the community, to share. We see in the software as our art. That's why we contribute. We also create open source. We not only use, we create, contribute. So definitely, we are in the digital transformation area.
Didn't Linnovate bring Drupal to the Israel scene?
Yes, it's true. Well, when we started, actually, Lior, the CTO of Linnovate, he established the Israeli community of Drupal. He started when Drupal was, I think, number 4 or 3, and he established the community and penetrated Drupal into the organizations here, government, public sector, and private sector. That was a great opportunity for the Israeli community and for Lior. But since then, we created more open sources. I think the most famous one is the Min stack, Min.io, which is full stack JavaScript. And now we focus on our Reindex, which is it's an open source to create a personalized experience web solution to enterprise visualization of from one side a user that the system knows the user, and from the other side we have organizational data and data visualization, experience, and insights.
Wow. You mentioned DevOps, and I want to dive into that because that's really what many industries and companies are really looking for as they try to really pick things up despite the Corona pandemic. So what makes Linnovate DevOps consulting service unique?
I would say that beyond of allocating a consultant to a firm and to help them with the DevOps, I think a unique solution by Linnovate is what we call DevOps as a service. So it's a support plan which is provided by a team and not by a sole person, and this solves a few issues. Well, the first one I would say is a greater knowledge amplitude. DevOps has many aspects, and the team can provide a better solution than individual. The second one, I think, is the continuity. Support does not depend on a specific person or entity, but by a team. And the third, that we also offer 24/7, which we found is very important for production systems. So that's I think what is unique for Linnovate. Beyond that, we focus in Kubernetes and CI/CD, ALM, all those in this environment.
Uh-huh. So you don't only get one person; you really get a full team as part of like a DaaS, instead of SaaS, but DaaS.
Correct, because DevOps is many things and it has many aspects and it has a lot of knowledge that you need to require. And for organizations that do not have a team, we found that as a service, DevOps as a service is a better solution for them because it covers many issues and the challenges organization focus or faces from time to time.
So how does Linnovate balance the concern of releasing with security and compliance and also the quality with being able to produce quickly? Meaning, what would you say is better, quality versus quantity?
Well, this is a tough question. We are geeks in Innovate, so we believe in encapsulating the knowledge as a code. Knowledge is a code. It's something that I personally believe, and we invest a lot in the CI/CD process. That is also would be my recommendation to customers and enterprises. As advanced as possible, accelerate development, the build, the deployment of the software, and the process itself is better, and also it improves the maintenance of the solution. You can maintain it easier. You can take care of security easier. So I would say that that is our philosophy and where we invest most of our efforts in this in what we call DevOps efforts.
Right. So it's good that you have your specific way of making things happen. I think a lot of companies really struggle with this question and don't end up providing such a good product because they're too busy trying to decide if they should release quickly or have it with better quality. Ultimately, if you don't release quickly, then you really fall behind.
It's true. If you don't, yes, it's in the previous time when enterprises when the software was monolith. I remember to change a version, to update a version was a project, and it could take days and sometimes even more. And then you had to shut down the organization for hours or days, and then that's in case something happened. In a case that the process was simple without problems. Today we do every day, not we. Today, just think about how many versions Facebook uploads a day. It's
Right.
something you cannot imagine, and without those processes, it was not impossible.
Sure. So let's talk about combining security and DevOps. There's some belief out there that every security threat is impossible to beat. There's so much out there, and there's a big focus on security. Would you agree with that some security threats are impossible to beat? Why and why not?
Well, I'm a practical person, so security breaches we find every day. So maybe it is something that happens, all the organizations know about and are aware of that. But I think that if we adopt discipline, and especially when exposing services to the public, we can reduce it to minimum. We focus in open source. So in that case, I would say that the first thing you should do is to test the architecture. The architecture of of your solution should be designed to keep secure data. This is the first thing. The second thing I would say is you must keep your solution updated to install security patches the moment they were released. It is something very important because from my knowledge and from the information I have, most of attacks are not so sophisticated. They just use known issues that their organizations did not cover or installed when they released. The third I would recommend is to adopt also a mechanism that test the solution on a regular basis. It can be once a year, once in 6 months, to run, or even once per month, but like ongoing penetration test to make sure that no one left open port or just left an open backdoor. Uh, because again, most of the attacks are not so sophisticated, but simple ones that leverage simple mistakes.
Hmm. And does the K8 support that Linnovate offers with the 24/7 support help with that monitoring of what's going on?
Yes, as part of our support, we offer a monitoring service 24/7. So we monitor both the infrastructure and the application, and also we monitor the behavior of the application. And our team, in case of an alert, our team tests it. I think that monitoring is something that can save a lot of issues when they happen and to solve them as soon as possible. And that's the reason we build this department, this unit that also provide support for organizations.
Right, saving issues saves money in this business. Saves a lot of headache.
Definitely, to fix something that is expensive, it's better to avoid an issue than to fix it later.
Right. So as people choose companies based on the features and apps, what are some features that Linnovate DevOps has deployed that are innovative?
Well, we focus in Kubernetes in our DevOps. The unit focuses in Kubernetes cloud and microservices architecture, and we focus also in enterprises. So it let us offer a customized solution to our customers where they can quickly deploy Kubernetes and with the full cloud as a full cloud application with a full ALM, what we call the cloud ALM. We think our platform is we use the most modern cloud technology. Today, we can offer this in 2 weeks. Organization can have a sophisticated CI/CD with a simple application where the customer can start shift its solution into that cloud. We have been doing that in the last month. I think we did it a few times, and it works, and it's amazing the result because we bring a lot of knowledge as a code, we can do it fast.
Wow. That is extremely fast. When you think about the impact it could have on a company, both on their bottom line and their innovation, it really is a game changer.
Definitely. The feedbacks that we receive are excellent. Suddenly, one person can do work that required to have four engineers. Because of DevOps tools and because of process, because of automation that the organization can use now. This is, yes, we love to see those reactions.
Right. So let's jump into automation. What is automation, or what role does automation play in your long-term game plan for Linnovate?
Well, I believe very much in automation and in the digital firm. You can reduce and minimize humans' impact, which has a few benefits. The first benefit is less mistakes, because you don't need, you just computerize everything. And that means that the CI/CD process can cover a full process or the whole process for all the product life management, and the person needs only to push a button. Also, and we cannot ignore that it also saves money to organizations, because they can shift their labor into other things, into development, and to increase the business side, and less to maintain it.
So we're in a world that's constantly changing, constantly improving, and one of those things that changes year to year are devices and smartphones. So I'm wondering, how does that impact the way Linnovate distributes?
Well, I think that the smartphones, of course, they changed the way software works, because for example, all the use of APIs and the technologies like React Native and so on, they are the consequence of what you just mentioned, of this shift. For Linnovate, so all our architecture is cloud native, and it exposes APIs, and the ALM is on. I mean, CI/CD covers all what is needed to deploy and build a product. So I would say that this is not news anymore. It's inherited in the architecture, that we use, and in the process that we adopted.
So basically, in order to stay ahead, you really need to put it into practice that it's going to be consistently changing.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's say someone's looking to get into DevOps. What would you suggest they do? Any tips?
Well, DevOps, I think that if you ask 10 people to define for you what is DevOps, I assume that maybe you can get more than 10 answers. So, but what I see, is that in today's life, a DevOps engineer requires to have a lot of knowledge. So, from different fields. So I would recommend someone who wants to go into this world, before it starts, to gain a strong background of networking, storage, Linux operating systems, cloud computing, containers, configuration management, and more process in both in the maintenance system and also development, because that will give this person the context and the aspects that he needs to be as a good DevOps engineer. There are many technologies today that they need to know. Uh, but again, if the background is strong and they have experience with development and experience with maintenance and operation, I think it would be fun.
Okay. Cluster computing affords DevOps numerous advantages over computing environments. So, in your opinion, what are some top advantages? Maybe like 5 or 6.
Well, what I like most is the self-healing. There is like one compute doesn't work, so the system knows how to cover itself. I like it very much. I actually I every time I see it, I it gives me a lot of it's fun. I like to see it. Redundancy. The redundancy that you get today out of the box is amazing. Like a few years ago, only we had to do a lot of work to get to reach into that point. Today, it's very simple and easy. Uptime. It's uncomparable to the old ways, how we used to do things. And I think that because Kubernetes, which is the leading platform as a cloud for cloud native, is open source. So it's everywhere. It's free, and you don't need to spend a lot of money on buying technologies. So that's what I like in computing. Of course, there are more issues, like you can save money because of self-healing. You can save money. You can use let's say more cost-effective compute engines. But I think those points are what I like very much.
Good things, good advantages. So let's leave them off with something that maybe is more personal for you. What's one thing that you wish you knew before starting in the software and open source space?
Well, the truth is I knew that, but maybe I appreciate it now more than even before. It is the changes in this field are amazing. Like it's a fast-moving space, and you need to keep yourself updated all the time, involved in new things. It's a lot of energy. You need to invest into it. It's perfect if you like it, if it's fun. But again, I'm amazed by the tempo of things. It just doesn't stop. Every week, every month, we have a new thing that we need to learn to understand. Amazing.
It could be exhausting to be able to do that, but if you can keep up, then it could do wonders.
So yes, it can be, but that's why it's. I think this field is only for people who really love this space and enjoy from what they do, because this is amazing for people who love it. It could be very tiring for if you don't like it very much.
Mm-hmm. Elroi, thank you for taking the time, giving us some insights and behind the scenes look into Linnovate, the DevOps, and all about open source software and solutions. How can people reach out to you to learn more?
Well, everyone can go to Linnovate, linnovate.net, and just drop an email to us through the contact form, or they can email to me, e@linnovate.net. Would love to hear from you.
Okay, thank you so much for taking the time. Follow us on social media at Linnovate, and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day.